Now, do you just ever, I don't know, come up here and
So
like,
it's funny.
just sort of zone out and be like,
it's funny
how
that
do
you
I
say
own
this.
this?
This room is all mostly, I wouldn't say all, mostly stop motion stuff. We do have some props along the back walls. We have Planet of the Apes. This is a chimp warrior, a hero chimp warrior costume. The way you can tell these from the regulars is the hero ones have the molded leather and stuff, like how they've made the costumes, whereas the non-heroes are printed. This is from the latest movie, that monkey egg, the egg that was in the nest.
Wow.
And then this is from the Planet of the Apes, the first remake, the Rise of the Planet of the Apes. This is the Genesis, the virus that starts it all. And then this was Caesar's collar. This was Caesar's collar whenever he was in his cages. And it's got a magnet so it can attach, it would hook around his neck.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
And the knife, they had it set to a robot, like an animatronic arm. And you can still see the brown, like, fake fibers. This is all Night at the Museum stuff. Huge fan of Robin Williams. I got to hang out with him for a day and it was just amazing. So I've always been a fan of Robin Williams. So I've got his sword, the Teddy Roosevelt's sword, the Mayans, the Tablet of Akhmenrah. There's a pretty cool story that goes with this. Owen Wilson, he's in the time, the time,
Oh, wow.
the hourglass, and then you've got Albert Einstein's bobblehead from the first one.
That's cool.
This actually was originally the tablet from the second movie, and I was contacted by the production, and they were having issues finding one that they could scan and get the detail that they needed. So I did the production a favor and helped them out by giving them the one that I did, and they actually used this one. So this one's been used in 2 and 3, and then the production actually gifted me a couple of Celine's live fire pistols from Underworld for letting me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's how I got it, man. I just got lucky.
And tell me about this Abraham Lincoln
Abraham
Vampire
Lincoln
Hunter.
Vampire Hunter. That's another movie. They filmed it in Louisiana, and it is so awesome how they weaved the actual history with the make-believe. And you've got like his letter when they need help, and his stopwatch, and his card, knife, stake, and then this is his axe, the head for the shotgun. You can see the trigger, and then he would take it. Such a cool movie. Inner Space, that's a classic. I also have one of the stop motion, the puppets from that movie too, the little, when they're inside the body in the spacesuit. I have one of those. Gods of Egypt, that's the light up Eye of Horus, lights up in time. Justin Timberlake, that's a popular movie. Jumper, that's Samuel L. Jackson's Hero Weapon. So that one functions. It pops out. It has some magnetic hooks or a net that hooks to it. Just goes to show you again, like what the amount of time and talent, and most people when they watch that movie probably don't even recognize all the detail in it until you see it in person.
Yeah.
Westworld, this is a black powder Westworld gun that was used by them.
So this Addams Family stuff, this is jumping out at me. Love this movie. What is that from?
That's from Addams Family. Those were from Addams Family too.
Okay.
So the back of it shows Addams Family. It was just for the display at the time. But the thing hand that's saying peace is from Robot Chicken. And the little dude over on the right is Team America.
Surprise, cockbags!
Yeah, the Chiodo's brothers.
Yeah.
They did all the puppeteering for that. Yeah. Have you ever come across any Killer Clowns from Outer Space stuff?
Yes.
That's a top 5 personal favorite.
So, and I've had multiple pieces. There's a miniature puppet that was from that I actually got my hands on, and I ended up. It's not as big a movie as it is to my friend, so he ended up getting that puppet from me. But we have like the Noid. That's an original clay 80s Noid puppet from Domino's, and then you've got Beetlejuice. That was screen used in the movie from the distant shots. whenever he was on Dante's Inferno, the little girly place, the hot spot. Wallace and Gromit, that's Wallace and Gromit, Curse of the Were Rabbit. And then up top, the guy with his middle finger up, there was a stop motion clip in My Name is Earl. Oh. I think they were like tripping or something, and they were tripping that they were puppets, and that's what that's from.
And Beavis from Celebrity Deathmatch.
God, I missed that shit. I won't butt head. I've been on the prowl, so hopefully I can.
That's so cool.
Ah, damn it! How am I gonna spank my monkey?
Then you have the Rick and Morty. That was actually the Rick and Morty puppets were used in a small cut for Adult Swim, kind of like as a promotion. They'll do like a 2 or 3 minute commercial. Mm-hmm. So I put them together. The stuff up top is all different Adult Swim shows. Titan Maximum, Buddy Thunderstruck. Then you got Coraline.
Yeah.
Robot Chicken. That was a 2001 Space Odyssey with boobs is the name of that one. And then those nuggets, those chicken nuggets. I remember when those chicken nugget toys came out as I was a kid in the Happy Meal. Those are actually the clay animatable. You can move them and everything. And those were used in that recent Kerwin Frost McDonald's commercial.
Nice.
They came out with adult Happy Meals.
Yeah.
It's really cool, man. So cool. Different Robot Chicken. Anybody that's familiar with Robot Chicken, this is the nerd. It's like one of the main characters. And then you got Darth Vader and the Stormtrooper and Deadpool, and all those are Skeletor and Catwoman. All those are from
Frankenweenie.
Yeah, Frankenweenie. That's a maquette, but the baseball beside him was the one that rolled across the street that killed him. Got him ran over.
Very cool.
Another great movie.
Yeah, man. You have a lot of Burton stuff.
I love Burton. Burton has always been. Burton was like. It was crazy because Burton stuff screams creativity, imagination. This is from a UK. It was a stop motion movie made in the UK called Strike. And it's about Mungo. Mungo is a mole, and those are his friends. And Mungo he's supposed to work in the mines with his daddy, which is what moles do. And they decide he decides he wants to play soccer. So the whole movie is about him trying to get his parents and stuff to accept him as playing soccer. Great movie. The way that all these puppets were made from recycled felt and just the way it was put together. Great movie for a family.
Okay. I'll have to check that out.
Paranorman. This is all Paranorman. And you got Frankenhole. This was another Adult Swim. But this is all Paranorman. This is from the old Comedy of Horrors. It was a Will Vinton. This is clay too. Very rare, very, very rare. Obviously, now he's passed away. And Will Vinton Studios actually changed into Laika, which is what you know today. Will Vinton owned Vinton Studios, and Phil Knight from Nike, that owns Nike, ended up with it over time and then changed it to Laika. And you've got these are cool. This is Spike the Rabbit. This puppet right here is a screen use puppet, and he's from the Moonwalker video with Michael Jackson. Oh. So in the video, he looks gigantic. And then obviously in person, he's only like 10 inches or so. That's the Michael Jackson raisin. Michael Jackson, he lays down on the couch, falls asleep, and dreams that he's a raisin. I helped produce a stop motion movie about Will Vinton. It was a Will Vinton documentary called Clay Dream, and they did for his creative side of his brain and his, intellect, the more smarter side of his brain. That's where those are from. These are miniature California raisins from the 80s. Nice. These would be used in distant shots. So it would be further away. These are all from the 80s. Those are all original clay raisins. Some of these I was lucky enough to get him to sign before he passed away. This is another Comedy of Horrors. His name was Famine. And then you've got these. These are big Will Vinton historic. These are from the 80s too. Huck Finn, the Adventures of Mark Twain was the show. That's Mark Twain.
Oh yeah.
Groper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then some of this stuff is Aardman. This is from Shaun the Sheep Farmageddon. And then this is a Morph puppet. A lot of people may know Morph. They did different things with him. He would turn into a ball and roll. This is from Chicken Run, the dog. And then that's I think Mr. Sweeney, I think Sweeney, something like that. Tweety, Mr. Tweety, maybe. Gumby. This is an original Gumby puppet, and then this was a animator, and I mean this guy did a lot on Gumby, and his name is Ken, and he kept that whole catalog from all his years of doing Gumby. And I ended up getting it from him. There's even a Gumby that's in there. There's one that he animated that he hated, and he ended up taking it, putting it in between the pages, and stepping on it and squishing him. And there's a squished Gumby in there.
That's cool.
Yeah, cool story, you know.
Yeah.
These, let's see, this is a big deal. This is a Podling puppet from Dark Crystal. That's from Jim Henson. This is from Dark Crystal. These were on the tables that the Skeksis would eat, supposedly. And there's a cool story that goes along with these. They, in the midst of filming, the things that they had wasn't working. So they went down to the dollar store and got these little wind-up toys. And all they did was cover them in felt and put some fabric on the end, and they would wind them up. And this one still, like, you know, kind of works. It would flop along the table, and the Skeksis would eat them, you know, like it was their food. The Skeksis tools, and then we've got Jim Carrey. That's the Grinch's prosthetics, and that's Max's hero antler.
Crank Yankers.
That's Tenacious D, man. That's Jack Black and his brother. There was a skit that they did on Crank Yankers, and
great show.
Oh yeah, man. When I was younger, we used to. I mean, that was like our bread and butter. Prank calling is what you did. If you didn't do that, that was like your
that's how you entertained yourself in the 90s.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you did. This is really crazy.
While we're talking about Crank Yankers, you have the
Crank Yankers. That's Bill Cosby's head.
Before we get into this massive Nightmare Before Christmas display,
Men in Black. This is the older lady. I've got her parrot. She was on there a lot. Hubie Halloween. Yeah, that's his hat and his thermos.
I love that movie.
I did too, man.
Yeah, great atmosphere.
Yeah. It's that old school.
Yeah, whoever did like the set decoration on that killed it.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah. I loved it too.
Yeah.
This is Oogie Boogie's bugs from whenever he comes apart, and Jack gets him untied, and then Oogie Boogie's dice. This is a very, very rare piece to have. When Nightmare Before Christmas came out, Disney didn't market it correctly. And what happened was most of the people with children, when they hear the name of a movie, The Nightmare Before Christmas,
sure,
unless you market it correctly, it's probably not a good chance that the kids may go to see it. So the movie originally did not do very well. So Disney ordered everything to be destroyed. So anything Nightmare Before Christmas now, other than what Burton has in exhibits and stuff like that, is very, very hard to find. I was contacted by someone, and they had these in a box. It was so many pieces. Like even the floor pieces come like it's crazy. And I had it in boxes for years until we got this place. And me and my little brother came up here, and we got us a case of beer, put the movie on TV, and watched it and set it up piece by piece on how everything, would go. And that's one of the slates that they used. And then this is cool. This is one of the original retired military Mitchell cameras that they used to film The Nightmare Before Christmas. So this one even has Disney. It's got the original Skellington production box. Wow. I got the box. I got the reels for it.
That's insane.
Yeah, super cool.
Now, do you just ever, I don't know, come up here and
so it's funny,
it's sort of zone out and be like, how do I own this?
Okay, me and a friend of mine were just discussing this. Like, it's weird that you say that, because we were just discussing it, because we were talking about, he is a collector of movie props, but he's very focused. He's got discipline, which is great. And then he collects sports stuff, which is a whole nother ballgame. But did you see what I did there? Ball game. But trying to collect this stuff, it almost ruins the magic of a movie. And I know that's crazy in a way, but when you start seeing special effects stuff and it looks so legit on screen, and then you see it in person and you're like, really? So there is times, this is how I responded when he asked me. When I come upstairs and I'm doing something, whether I have to grab something, take a picture, something, whatever the case is, I do stop. But I ask myself, how? How? I remember as a child, one of the most influential things is when I went to Disney World and I went into the Planet Hollywood store, and they had a gremlin in a plexiglass case, gremlin puppet.
Yeah.
And at that time, unless you went to Planet Hollywood or it was something like that, you didn't see props, you know. And I saw that gremlin and I was like, oh, I want that gremlin. And it's crazy how things come full circle. And seeing this stuff, you know, for me, stuff like this, you do go in states of awe.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're also really happy that at least it wasn't destroyed.
Yeah.
You know? Because a lot of production companies, if they have to pay to put this stuff in an archive or a warehouse, it's more money for them to do that and store it if they're never going to use it again than just to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So that's usually how that works. So Peter Jackson, this has been years and years ago, but Peter Jackson contacted me and offered me $150K for this. And I almost took it, but I didn't.
Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, now this has been probably 8-9 years ago. So you're talking, I mean, that was then, you know.
All right, Wesley, I got like $100 on me, man. Let's make it. I'm kidding.
We can innovate, you know, we'll make us our own Nightmare Before Christmas too.
Take out an X-Acto knife, cut me off a sliver of the floor.
A little relic, get you a little relic of it. This is cool. A friend of mine years ago bought the complete letter H from the old Hollywood sign.
That's cool.
And that's what that is. That's a cut from that. The holes are so the wind would go through and not blow it over. Mm-hmm. Wanted, that's another movie I liked. James McAvoy is a fantastic split.
Yeah.
But they go on, his name is Wesley in the movie, which only, you know, I had to get it.
Sure.
You got Elysium. This is the Earth necklace. He is Ted from Ted 2.
Yeah.
This bear is from the Comic-Con scene when the bears are all up on the stadium and they're trying to blend in. So this particular one was Ted when he was standing in that group. A friend of mine was the puppet wrangler. He sent me a video one night of him in his hotel room right before the production started, and he had all the Ted bears around his bed. It's hilarious. Different ones. Cool. Box Trolls. This was the very first stop motion movie I ever got to see be made. I went to Laika in Portland, Oregon, and I watched them make it. The book was called Here Be Monsters, and then Laika made it Box Trolls. As far as a family movie, this one is fantastic. It's fun. The adults will like it. Kids will like it.
I've never seen it.
Oh,
we'll have to add that to the list.
It's a great movie. That's definitely cool. One of my, I would say Nightmare Before Christmas is probably my favorite, but this is like close second, you know? It's just the way it was done. It was just done all just perfect. I mean, the stop motion was becoming, the technology was becoming a little bit better.
Yeah, what's all this stuff from?
This is all Box Trolls.
Oh, okay.
So this is Here Be Monsters, the book, and then this is Lord Portly Ryan. He's in the movie. That's eggs. Each box troll has a box, and each box has a picture, and that's their name. Shoes, eggs. You know. This is from House of the Clock in Its Walls. Jack Black and this movie. This is the hero book. This one's really cool. I had a special effects book where this spun, and you would spin it from underneath. It had a disc. And that's how in the movie the boy holds it out and goes to where the finger is pointing. This one though is the hero, and the other one was static. It didn't open. This one opens, and it actually is like the full complete book.
So you've always been like a big stop motion fan.
You know,
I feel like it's a lost art form. You don't see it
as much. It's an art form that we are losing.
Yeah,
we are losing it. I mean, you got to figure Vinton days claymation was like, wow. You know, then you got like Ray Harryhausen that did all the 7 Voyages of Sinbad. I mean, he was like the pioneer of stop motion.
Right.
You know, then you had Vinton, who was the pioneer of claymation, and then now you've got everybody. They're doing this 3D rapid printing and stuff to where they can put the color. I mean, essentially all this is resin powder and glue. That's it. And the crazy thing is these puppets. You know, you can take all their faces off. Their faces come off, and they would print each face. And each face has a different expression than they're numbered. And that's how they know a sequence of events of how they do it. So they didn't animate these puppets. They had to take these faces off and change them for each.
Right, yeah. I've seen the behind the scenes for A Nightmare Before Christmas. They have like a suitcase full of faces.
So those are different though. Yeah. So they didn't 3D print those. They molded all that stuff and hand painted it.
Okay.
Coraline was the only, or pretty much one of the last movies that did that. Then they went to 3D printing. And see, they have massive printers, so they could pop these things out. I mean, I remember seeing a cabinet there, and the cabinet had little shelves, and it was just it was like shelf after shelf of nothing but faces, because there's just so much to articulate.
Do you remember the Tool music videos back in the 90s? Did a lot of claymation stuff.
So
Adam Jones, the guitarist, he's a special makeup effects guy. He worked on like T2 and some other stuff, but their videos are like very claymation horror style.
And it's funny. I actually was contacted by a guy one time to ask me if I was interested in something, and it was puppets from a Green Day music video.
Oh, that's cool.
Green Day did a music video with claymation puppets, and I've got those too. This one, I'll show you this one. This one's cool. We were talking about Tales from Halloween, and this is the little alien. This is the only one they made, and it's the main one. And this is the little alien that was in Tales from Halloween. Whenever he's standing on the street and he says "twinkle tweet," and he keeps saying it over and over. I actually got this direct from the animator.
That is awesome.
Twinkle tweet.
Twinkle tweet. Twinkle tweet. Twinkle tweet.
Oh, and while you're in there, the Fantastic Mr. Fox prop.
Yeah, okay.
Dude, I love that movie.
Yeah, there's different things sometimes you can come across. Sometimes things are a little bit easier. Some things get thrown in your lap and you're like, what?
Mm-hmm.
And I have two different scales. The scale there's a larger scale, which would be like just one full scale, and then they had like a more of a miniature one, but that's the full size one. And then I have the small one that could have been used closer up, like in a grocery store. Yeah. But this, I have only these two pieces are really the only pieces that I've seen. Like, I'm sure people probably have, animators get puppets, but stuff like this, it's hard to come by.
Y'all are trespassing now, illegally.
Like I said, most of the time it's either destroyed or it's just not worth keeping. They'll do whatever, give it away as a gift, or so this is Return to Oz. This is cool.
Oh yeah, I got it.
And that's a screen match key.
That's awesome.
That's from Chicken Run. That was a chicken pie. That's the chicken pie from when the chicken falls in it. And there was an old UK live action child's show called Slow Norse. Mm-hmm. A Norse is a type of animal. It looks almost slothy like, but that's what he was. That's animatronic too.
Quite a guest room, my friend. That is truly awesome.
This is a cool piece too. This is from Edge of Tomorrow. That's Emily Blunt's sword. It's supposed to be. They got it off of a helicopter blade.
Nice.
And made it a sword.
Oh yeah, and you have Jaws stuff in the bathroom.
We gotta.
You almost sound disappointed to say that. You're like, yeah, well, it's only his original diving goggles.
I have Hooper's goggles. And then this is really cool. This was Johnny Depp's voodoo doll from Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's cool.
Yeah. Rigetti's wooden eye. This is the eye whenever you see it like rolling down the ship. His little wooden eye pops out.
Yeah, none of this is impressive. Let's get out.
Goonies. They used Goonies. So the coins, a lot of people know Goonies coins were also used from Hook.
Yeah, speaking of Hook. This is Dustin Hoffman's Hero Hook. And then from the Peter Pan downstairs that we saw the parrot with the peg leg, that is from this one. That's Jason Isaacs' Hook. That is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, Jaws 2, that's the orca nameplate when the boat is sunk.
Very cool.
And then over here we have Pirates of the Caribbean. We have Blackbeard's hat and his Triton sword. His sword is what he would put down into his boat that controlled his boat. Mm-hmm. This was Pirates and the Band of Misfits. This is an Aardman movie, and it was great. Different funny moments, different things that... as a family movie, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Key to Davy Jones's locker. So that's one of his main keys. It has the necklace. I've had a couple of those, but none of them had necklaces. And then the Elizabeth Swann necklace. That's a whole nother. That's like the main prop from the first movie.
Piranha bathing suit.
Yeah, I mean,
given to you by Gary.
No. I didn't get it from Gary. I know that Gary did all the special effects. I actually got this. I think it may have came through a studio auction. I can't remember. This was something I've had for years. But that's pretty cool. It has a string. There's a string up on her shoulder and in the middle. And And what they did is when they timed it right and the anchor was supposed to go through her and slice her up, they would pull the string, which would make her bikini fall, so it could work for the effect.
Very cool.
One more movie magic. Magic trick.
All right, so tell me about this corner.
This is some more of like more towards sci-fi-ish.
I mean, I love Mars Attacks.
Fantastic movie.
Dude, that's so cool.
Those were made by McKeenan and Saunders. They did all the puppets for Corpse Bride. They're in the UK, and they made these puppets, and they were going to originally use stop motion on that movie. Mm-hmm. And they did all the work and everything, and these puppets were so great, and they ended up changing it to CG.
They didn't do any puppet work in Mars Attacks? Man, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, because these puppets would have been awesome.
Yeah.
This is a miniature Sentinel from the Matrix. I think it's Revolutions, I think, or something. I can't remember. It's like the third one. Then you got Halo. This is Halo rifle, and I got the Chief's pistol up top there. It's got a magnet.
All right, and you got to tell me about.
Yeah, that's Mac, man. That's Mac and me. That's for Mac and me. That's the only puppet right now that we know. Actually, I know that is the only one that exists. All the others are gone.
You hear that, Paul Rudd?
Yeah. You just get with Phil, Paul. He'll give you my number.
Paul Rudd, if you're watching, you do that. Yeah.
Don't waste your chance,
Hit
man.
me up, dude. Hook me up with some Halloween 6 stuff. Come on.
Yeah. I'm sure we could work out a trade.
No, I mean, I feel like Paul Rudd should get this and gift it to Conan.
It's gonna be. I'll be honest. I would not. That's not something I would have normally decided or even like come to a conclusion to part with.
Sure.
But for Paul Rudd, I would. There's exceptions to every rule.
Sure.
I've sold some cool pieces. I had Forrest Gump's leg braces. I sold those to Louise Tomlinson from One Direction. Sold pieces to Mike Flanagan. We've dealt with numerous different. You wouldn't believe it, but there's numerous celebrities collect props.
Oh,
it's almost like it's essentially like an art object, just like a painting on the wall.
Absolutely, yeah.
This I know some people probably will know this movie. Probably don't even have to say it. This is one of my favorites as a kid. This was Flight of the Navigator.
Like Phil.
Phil's behind the curve on this one too. But this is from Flight of the Navigator, and it's funny. Like we were talking about the magic and stuff, collecting and losing the magic in certain situations. I mean, when you hold this ship in the movie, it's gigantic and it changes shape and all this, and then when you hold it, you're like,
it's very lightweight.
Yeah, not much to it, but it's,
yeah.
I mean, it's awesome. This is from Warcraft. That's Lothar's sword, who played Ragnar in Vikings, which is a series I really love. So we're now going into the town of.
Oh man, yeah. So like before we even step in here, this is from the movie.
Yes, that's
Sleepy
from
Hollow.
Yeah, that's the sign that you would have seen when you're going into the town of Sleepy Hollow.
That is.
So I thought it was appropriate to.
Yeah, dude, I love that movie.
So these are the movie rooms.